Coming up on Football Today, the boys and I react to a massive weekend of EPL action. 45 goals scored across the 10 games. It was huge. Speaking of huge, Arsenal's win over Liverpool. Apparently celebrating a big win is a bad thing. We talk about Chelsea and their disastrous loss. Man United look to be on the way back up. Tottenham are just struggling a little bit, and Sheffield United, well, it wasn't great. Neither was the Asian Cup. Check it out. Football Today starts right now. Hello and welcome to the Football Today show. It is the 6th of February. We have just seen the end of Matchweek 23 in the EPL. Finished off this morning with Manchester City finally beating the Brentford Bees. Phil Foden starred with a hat-trick. We'll get into that later on. I'm your host, Alex Donnelly. As always, I'm joined by two Chelsea fans. This week, they're quite sad. Liam McAllion over there in a long sleeve. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's getting a bit tighter week by week, this one. But yeah, not a happy Chelsea fan this week, losing the Wolves again.
Is it because it's shrinking or are you going to the gym?
Neither of those options.
So you're getting fatter?
No, I don't think I'm getting fat. I'm just joking around. Yeah.
Get to the gym, stats guy. And as always, joined by Marcus, who's just ready to run in off the long run about a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, I'm more angry than sad.
Yeah,
you mentioned. Yeah,
good. All right, that's great. So we're going to run through all the games. We're going to talk about, obviously, we have our performances of the week, goals of the week, save of the week, bell end of the week, so on and so forth. But if you've never listened to the Football Today show or never watched it before, why haven't you? If you are, please subscribe, give us a like, all that stuff. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and across the social medias. We do start off the Football Today show with a yeah, nah. The stats guy over there has written it in this week.
Yeah, this is a bit of anger as a Chelsea fan, as a Blues fan. Poch should be sacked by Chelsea. Yeah, nah.
Marcus, you're the Chelsea fan. You can go first.
Yeah, well, I don't want to, straight after the Wolves game, be sort of too reactive.
Yeah.
Basing off something that's just happened. But that was really poor. A lot of his decisions have been poor so far this season in terms of just the squad and the way, particularly the way the midfield's set up. I think it doesn't complement either Enzo or Caicedo, and they're having to pay for it. But I think wait for now until the EFL Cup final against Liverpool. I know that we have Aston Villa in the replay. In that time, we've got Aston Villa in the FA Cup replay.
FA Cup.
Yes, Thursday, sorry. Thursday morning.
Same.
We've got Palace, City, Tottenham, and then the EFL Cup final.
Oh.
So I think we can't sack a manager now with those run of fixtures coming up. I think just wait until the EFL Cup final. Give him that time. He got there. So, but I'll tell you what, if we lose 4 of those 5 pretty convincingly, then
this is a very long nah.
Nah. Yeah. But yes, at the same time, give him a month.
Nah with potential.
I don't want a nah, but a yes. I want.
So it's FM. We're going. You got 5 games. Get so many points.
All right, Alex, what do you got?
Currently with nah, because if Chelsea sack him, it's going to cost him a stack of money, which puts you under more FFP.
Yeah, we've already spent enough
peril. So that actually, for me, that's hilarious being an Arsenal fan. But I don't think you should sack him. He's inherited this squad that has, ever since Thomas Tuchel was sacked, it's just been, ooh, that's a shiny new player. Buy him. Oh, shiny new one. Yeah. Oh, he was good once. Get him. There's been no strategy to any of the purchases. You have bought young dudes who have a lot of potential and given them 7-year deals on a crap ton of money. They've gone to London going, how good's this? I'm on a 7-year contract. Because the thing is, no other club is going to be willing to match these wages for any of these players at the moment. Your best player, Conor Gallagher, is potentially going to be sold so he can help with the FFP.
Yeah, I've heard 100 million that we have to raise to avoid FFP.
Yeah, that's not great. So the fact that you're considering sacking a manager who you've bought in, yes, it hasn't worked so far, but it's like you're going to be stuck with the same thing with the new manager. You sack the manager, you bring in a new manager. Still got the same squad that's doing nothing.
Yeah, and I've heard a big core of the fans are like, Jose Mourinho, hello, bring him back, and I wouldn't want that.
No, it's too far gone. It's too far gone. I'm going to say nah as well, just because you look at the past few years, all the managers we've gone through at Chelsea.
You shouldn't have sacked Thomas Tuchel. Let's just
Thomas
go back
Tuchel,
to
I think we probably should. Like, it was really bad at the time.
That's another year.
It was really bad.
He shouldn't have been sacked because ever since then, it's gone like this. Because there was a thing flown up this morning on social media, points won in your first X amount of matches between, I think it was Pochettino and Graham Potter. Potter had more points.
Yeah. I don't think Graham Potter was that bad as well. I think we've just gone through this whole process. Then we're going to sack Poch again if it happens, and then it's just going to be restarted and then still be bad. So I don't think we should sack him and sort of ride it out a little bit longer.
No matter what, you guys are going to suck for the rest of the season. And that's just putting it bluntly. It is like
can't argue with
you
that.
pull out a few upsets, like the game against Manchester City, the game against Arsenal, where you were good. Then you're going to put in performances like this. It's a squad of individuals. It's not a team.
Yep.
And to lose back to back against Wolves this season
Called it.
isn't great.
That's horrible.
All right, let's move on to something that's
Thank God.
not as good, not as great either. The Ange Ball status. So we obviously start off after the NR with the Ange Postecoglou Ange Ball status, being the manager of Tottenham, Australian show, Australian manager. The Ange Ball status is not great. That late goal for Everton was very much deserved for the Toffees. I saw some people going, oh, that's a stiff result for Tottenham. I don't know what game you were watching. Everton was stiff to not win this game. 2-2. Spurs have now conceded 8 goals at the 90th minute or later this season. That is the most that they've conceded in a Premier League campaign ever. And it's only February and there's 15 games to go. This keeps going back to my point. They're all flash with not a lot of substance at the moment. Yeah,
I'm blaming Romero for that equaliser in the last minute because I don't know what he was doing. That just floated.
It floated, yeah, that's right.
Floated back to the back post. But I don't know, I feel like Everton were only dangerous off set pieces. So I think like that was the only way that they scored their goals. So as long as you're structured and you work on that well throughout the week, you can avoid that. And they scored both goals from set pieces.
Big lug head is not going to get stopped. He's just going to fly in.
Yeah, well, they do have Romero, Van der Ven. They had Dragusin that they brought on, I think. So.
I know they've got a lot of injuries and obviously Son's still away, but I think a result like that and a lot of these games that they've slipped from being in front shows them that they're a Europa League qualifying team, not a Champions League thing.
I think it more symbolises Ange, the way he plays more than
attacking.
Like being Spurs. Because I just think they got promised.
Spursy and funny. Though.
It is, yes. They got promised in the forward half. Werner's bringing up assists, Richarlison's scoring goal after goal after goal. But defensively, there's still that worry, obviously, with Ange.
We do need to touch on Richarlison. Two goals, 2 very good goals. Nearly annoyed stats guy by going off and celebrating one, and then he realised where he was and stopped.
No, I'm all for the pigeon celebration. Any time of day, any match. I don't care if it's against Everton. I think it's just a funny celebration. I'm here for the pigeon.
But that second goal was fantastic.
He's got 9 goals in his last 8 games now, which is the best form of his whole career by an absolute mile. And it's awesome to see him dominating because we always go, when he puts the yellow canary at gold for the Brazilian team, he kills it. And now he's finally doing that for Tottenham. So it's good, like you said, Marcus, in attack. They've got all those injuries in defence and they're probably playing a bit too attacking, but they're still going all right.
Yeah. No, well, they're going all right. What are they like?
Still fifth. And I think it's out of them and Aston Villa, obviously, at the moment for 4th. But Man U are starting to hit a little bit of form, so we'll have to wait and see.
I think there's Man United and Villa this weekend, I believe. You blokes will talk about that on Thursday in the preview show. All right, time for On The Spot, where we go through here the performance of the week, bell end of the week, goal of the week, the Mackenzie Arnold save of the week. And we start off with the positives. The performance of the week, which we can also call the Timmy Cahill boxing a flag stats guy.
I got to go Luton Town. The Hatters, 8 goals in 2 weeks. I know that's not this week. 4-4 against Newcastle. It was
within a week because it was Thursday.
True, actually. I didn't even think about that. But never easy taking on Newcastle at home. They've got the rowdy crowd. St. James's Park has always been known as a hard place to go to. They draw 4-4 with them and probably should have won. Were they up 4-2, I'm pretty sure?
Yeah. And they had a chance to win it in stoppage time as well.
So I know it's annoying to say performance of the week when they probably should have won, but the fact that they are scoring this many goals, Adebayo we haven't talked about him enough from Luton. He's having one of the breakout seasons. He's been absolutely awesome. He's got
Ross Barkley
as well. He somehow resurged his career. So Luton, I think, just the last week and a half have been absolutely awesome, and they're going to be out of the relegation zone, I think, because they're playing so well in attack. Yeah,
called it. Yeah, totally called it.
Yeah,
if Luton stay up, does Ross Barkley get a move, or does he stay?
I reckon you stay because obviously they'll have a bit more money to spend. It's working well, and it's like when he left Everton, he was so full of promise. It was like, hey, he's going to dominate. And it's kind of what's going on with Chelsea at the moment. Young kid, stack of money at a big London club, and it just hasn't worked out.
Yeah, but I know Luton are going to stay up. Most likely. Yeah. But does that mean that they might most likely going to go down next season? Is it worth going back down to the Championship, or while his stock is high, getting a move to maybe a European club in France? Or
he's an English lad, so he probably wants to stay in the Prem.
Yeah. It's tough.
I reckon he might
really moved away.
Might stay around unless
Unless they get relegated, I think he'll stay.
Yeah, I agree. Because he just fits in really well there. They play through him a bit more. He's always had sort of the class for it, but he never had the consistency, and it's good to see him playing well.
Who was yours, Marcus?
Similar to stat score, I'm going to go Luton.
Yep.
Oh, very similar.
Yeah, very similar.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, I just saw the run sheet, saw you put Luton and copied it.
Good.
No, I'm just kidding. I thought it's so hard to score 4 goals at St James's Park, especially under like the new ownership. So, and for a team like Luton to do that, it wasn't lucky either. They deserved 4 goals.
Well, we can keep talking about this game before we move on to mine. I think the loss of Nick Pope is really poignant here. Like, they've still got Dubravka in goals, and you're just not as confident with him there. It's like, why didn't you go get David De Gea on a free? Like, honestly, how much more confident would you be as a Newcastle fan or player knowing David De Gea is behind you in goals right now?
Is he fan of club? I don't think he's fan of club yet.
Chilling.
That's crazy. I know people love to hate De Gea, but he's still a world-class player. I think he should be on someone's team. Sure.
Is it too far gone though? It's been what, 6-7 months?
How old is he? I'm trying to have a look.
He'd be 30.
30.
Bring him to
33,
Girona.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so for mine, obviously, I'm in the shirt. I got to go with Arsenal. They scoreline 3-1. Go back and watch the game. They battered Liverpool.
Yep.
Liverpool, it was their worst game of the season. It wasn't that they played bad. It was Arsenal dominated the game. It was the least amount of possession, the least shots, the least big chances they've had all season. Mikel Arteta pulled it off. Perfect. And as much as it's just going to rub it into you guys, Jorginho for Arsenal was the best player on the field by a mile.
He was.
For $12 million, he was like, at the time, I know a few Arsenal fans are like, I don't know about it. But in big games like these, under pressure, just the calmness and presence that he brings, and also a lot of the balls that he plays, he just finds gaps where you watch other players within this Arsenal team going, why aren't they playing these passes? He did it a fair few times. But yeah, Arsenal now, what is it, 2 points behind Liverpool now. It really sets up an exciting title race. It probably should have been 4-0, let's be honest. But, we'll talk about that once we get into the game below.
Nice.
Goal of the week. What have we got? We'll do Bell End after this.
All right, goal of the week first. Yeah. I'm going to go to one of my old favourite players at Chelsea, which I'm annoyed that he's going okay at
There's literally like 40 players that are ex-Chelsea at the moment.
I know. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I thought he started off really well at his career at Chelsea, played for England. I saw him play for England over there, and it was absolutely awesome. Then he obviously dropped off, and then we got rid of him. I was sad that we got rid of him. But his second effort to intercept and then a curler from outside the box for Notts was absolutely awesome. I loved seeing him score for Notts. Obviously got them a draw. I think that's going to be my goal of the week. He just put that bottom corner, did the hard yards outside the box to get the interception, and then scored. So get around him.
Yep.
Well, I don't think he's I don't think he's much more than probably a Forest level player at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment. When he first started, he was really good though.
He got that loan move to Bayer Leverkusen.
Yes,
like Tammy Abraham. Good for him.
No, he was so good as well.
Him back
they were my 2
right
favourite
now.
players in 2019, and then we got rid of them both, and that killed me, but that's all right.
Well, I'm going to go for my goal of the week. It's not so much the goal, but more the pass that led to the goal.
Yeah.
And it's Ollie Watkins against Sheffield United, but that Douglas Luiz pass outside of the foot, curling around the centre half into Watkins' path perfectly. It reminded me of when Frank Lampard did it to Didier Drogba and he went around Michael Richards.
Yeah,
that was funny.
Big Meeks.
Big Meeks, yeah.
I'm going to go in the same game. Leon Bailey. That finish was absolutely awesome.
So good.
Just with the step inside. He had the defender help him out a little bit with the eyesight of the goalie, but it's just like, you're not stopping that. Absolutely fantastic. And that game was done and dusted in half an hour.
When Villa are going at full pelt, there's nothing more nothing more exciting.
They were playing traffic cones.
I know they were playing traffic cones, but I just love watching them because they've had a few big scores. Same as Newcastle when they're at their best, when they're just scoring a lot of goals. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, I think a bit of downhill skiing involved there, but anyway. All right, Bell End of the week, which is basically who's not hot in the world of football right now. Marcus and I'll go first because we've combined. Mine is Chelsea as a whole, and Marcus has gone
Chelsea
Pochettino.
as a whole.
I've changed.
Yeah. Oh, he's just changed. Well, he's gone for another player. He had Poch down, now he's changed. Mine is just Chelsea. You got whipped 4-2 at home.
Yeah.
You looked. If you didn't have Cole Palmer, you'd be probably, 10 points worse off?
Yeah, 100%.
Probably, because he's scored a lot of winners.
So
for us.
Chelsea with an asterisk of not Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone Raheem Sterling, just more as a player. I saw you put Chelsea down. I would have put Chelsea down, but you already had it. So
Just the whole team.
I gave Gerald a word of warning, but we were f***ing pathetic. We were shocking. We were terrible.
At least we have a beep.
I told him, we'll give him a word of warning. We were shocking, and I'm actually getting to, I don't recognise my club anymore. It's got to that point where we dropped below Wolves. Wolves leapfrogged us. Like what's
Wolves are good, man.
They got Gary O'Neill.
Yeah.
Gary O'Neill.
It's worked out wonderfully for them. He joined them with 2 days to go before the season started. He's got them to 9 wins
but
already.
he's literally a tadpole in Sean Dyche's womb.
Oh, man.
Gary O'Neill.
I mean, hey, Wolves are going great. They probably should have won another 3 games with a bit of luck. So
That's funny.
they're going fantastic.
But we're Chelsea at
I'd
home.
be,
We
I'd
shouldn't
be more worried if Fulham and Bournemouth get ahead of you.
Yeah, but we
I'm
shouldn't
on
be
your side here,
conceding.
Marcus, yeah.
Shouldn't be conceding 4 goals. I think it's back-to-back 4 goals conceded. It's the second time that's happened under Poch in the league.
You got absolutely battered by Liverpool during the week as well.
Oh yeah,
I can understand
That could have been
Liverpool.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
Obviously, Wolves is a lot more depressing than Liverpool, who are 10 spots behind Liverpool. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Stats Guy, yours is boring.
Oh, this is not boring. I'm so sick of Angel Di Maria. Just have a sook, mate. You're an old player. You're trying to be relevant again. I know he was an absolute superstar for Argentina. He's called out Garnacho saying he shouldn't copy Ronaldo celebrations. He can do what he wants. He scored the goal. He's in good form for Manchester
I think
United.
it's more that he hates Man United.
I think so Di Maria pretty much
think
said
it's
he needs to
more-
be idolising Messi because he's Argentinian.
the Messi, Ronaldo.
Shut up. All right. I get Messi's a god and I agree he's the GOAT. But if you're at Manchester United, the whole club is all around Ronaldo. And they absolutely love Ronaldo. All the academy players love Ronaldo and things like that. So Garnacho's come through the academy. He's doing
Roy
Ronaldo.
Keane's going to come in here and headbutt you.
Other than Roy Keane. Roy Keane's a bit of an outlier on that one. But Garnacho loves Ronaldo. He can
David
do what he
Beckham.
wants. David Beckham, yeah. All I'm saying is Di Maria is just an old guy. Same happens in AFL a lot, where all these old guys like to pipe up a little bit, say their piece. But yeah, he needs to shut up and just let Garnacho. If he's scoring for Man U, he can do what he wants, I think. So yeah, Angel Di Maria is my big bellend of the week.
Cool.
And he was a flop,
thought you would like that one.
at Manchester United as well. So you can't
Exactly,
really say
yeah. So
much.
what was he
I
talking
mean, he's
about?
won trophies literally everywhere.
He's an absolute superstar.
His trophy cabinet is bigger than his building.
He's
He
an
was
absolute superstar.
actually great at the World Cup as
Yeah.
well. What was I gonna say?
And finally, we'll finish off with the Mackenzie Arnold, aka the best save of the week. I hate it. I agree with Stats Guy. Not that I agree with Stats Guy. I don't hate that part. I'm
Yes.
giving it to Onana.
Yeah, you hate that you're giving it to
take
Onana. Yeah, it was just a really strong left-hand save against West Ham. As in one specific
In
save.
fairness, was the only good one this week.
Yeah, there was a lot of, because a lot of goals went in, as we'll
Yeah.
get into. Actually, I didn't even say that before, but I'll get into that in a sec. And he kept a clean sheet also. I know West Ham haven't been in strong form, but that's what Man U really needed, a clean sheet at home. He did some really good saves. So I got to give some props to Onana, who's had a really tough few weeks after getting dropped from AFCON, had to come back home and all that stuff. So yeah, good on him.
I was going to give it to Mark Flecken from Brentford, and then Phil Foden decided to score a hat-trick in the second half. His first half was fantastic this morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's talk about the other games. But before we do that, Gerald, if you have the Stats Guy bit, please play it.
Stats Guy's here. Let's leave McAllion.
Stats Guy for more stats of the day. Go on, Stats Guy. What is it?
Gerald's like, oh, do we have that bit? I was going to say, this is the most goals in a 10-game match week in EPL history. 45 goals within these 10 games this week, which is
wild.
That is so many goals.
Remember that Boxing Day weekend?
But there was also like a final week where there were like 4 games out of about 10 goals. So it's like,
I thought it would be, I think there's been a lot around that 38 to 43 mark.
Yeah.
But there's never been 45. So there you go, lads.
that might have been the most in
You're
a
right.
single
I think
day.
there was. I remember that Chelsea scored 8 past to win the league.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah.
You had Chelsea scoring 8 or winning.
Yeah, just going out in the season.
8 in a week.
Yeah.
All right, let's rip into the other games here. We'll start off with Brighton 4, Crystal Palace 1. This game was over very quickly. Like we said about Crystal Palace 2 weeks ago after they lost to Arsenal. They were meek. They were pathetic. Roy Hodgson is in trouble. Why did he bring on Michael Elise when they were down 3-0? He's got hamstring issues. He's now out for 8 to 10 weeks. Good job, Roy.
Oh, that's
Way
dumb.
to ruin
That's
the kid.
dumb.
That was pathetic management, really. I don't know.
I can
A bit of dementia
understand
coming in with-
why 3-0 down, you bring him on and you're like, okay, we get a goal back quickly, we're back in the game, but it's also like, why would you risk it?
This is the most important part of the season for Palace, like at the moment, just to get some momentum back. And I know that you got to rest Elise for a little bit, but they could have rested him for a little bit. He comes back in and gets back into
When
that
you're
goal
down
scoring
3-0,
form.
just like,
Yeah,
leave him
you're
on
not
the
going to
bench.
win anyway.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll give you a question, lads, and give me an answer here.
Yeah.
How many times have Eze and Elise been on the pitch together?
This season,
Yep.
3 games.
It's going to be like
they
10,
were together midweek.
No, 10 games at least.
I think they've started 4, but been on the pitch together in 7.
I was close.
Really?
Which is, you think of those numbers.
2 of their
if
best
they
players,
had,
yeah.
if they had them both on the pitch.
They'd be 10 points better off.
Yeah.
Probably,
at least.
yeah. They would be, yeah.
Yeah. Pascal Gross was great with 2 assists. João Pedro was everywhere.
Can we talk about that Danny Welbeck assist, though?
Yeah.
For those-
Where did that come from? Yeah.
He puts it out now and then, though. It's
Every now and then he just pulls out a nice
it's like,
highlight.
oh, yeah.
He used to be good, yeah.
He's a baller. He's got tackers.
It's like Alex Iwobi does it at Fulham. Like, oh, yeah.
He's all right.
Alex
yeah.
Iwobi. Nice. Burnley 2, Fulham 2. Look, I thought Trafford was good in goal for Burnley, despite them going, drawing this game. Polini was good for Fulham. I really got nothing to add. This game, despite it being 2-2, I was like,
It was a good game.
He should have saved the chip though. If you get a strong, you got a good hand onto it.
I still thought he was good though. Got to give him credit somewhere.
And new fan favourite, Datro Fofana.
Yes.
Datro Fofana.
Yeah.
Chelsea loanee.
It's Fofana.
Fofana.
We'll go to Villa and Sheffield United quickly. We've already talked about that. The most important thing out of this for me is Ollie Watkins needs to be picked for the England squad for Euros. He has to be behind
100%,
Harry Kane.
100%.
Like straight away. I know Eddie Nketiah got a game before. He's not even starting for Arsenal now. The way Watkins is going, he has to be picked for England. And let's touch on everyone's FIFA player from back in the day, Tielemans with his goal, the rocket from outside the box. Wow!
I always had the 90 long shot on the on FIFA. Yeah, that was awesome. I feel like once a season he has to score an absolute banger for Leicester back in the day and now Villa. So awesome to see. When he first came over to Villa, he looked really strong.
He struggled a little bit,
but he's been struggling, and I'm glad that he's got that confidence back. Hopefully that goal helps his confidence a bit more. Yeah,
we've already talked about Newcastle 4, Luton 4, but as I said, if Luton keep this kind of form up, they belted Brighton during the week 4-0. They'll stay up given Notts and Everton with FFP and given how bad Sheffield United and Burnley are. As said, they're going to be very tough to beat at home for the rest of the season. Manchester United 3, West Ham 0. This was kind of simple in the end for Man United. I know it was only 1-0 at half time, but West Ham continue their dip. Ever since Stats Guy talked them up, they've just dipped. Literally, everything bad at West Ham can be tied to Stats Guy going, show some respect for West Ham. I think they've lost every game since.
They heard me,
we'll check out cricket today as well, because we were at the game, Australia versus West Indies ODI. We said, we did a pre-game preview. We watched the first ball. Travis Head hits a 4 down the ground. He goes, he's going to make a century.
Oh, you said 50.
I said 50.
That's the same thing pretty much.
And you're like, he's looking good. He's making a century.
Yeah, it was a good 4. It was like one of the better 4s in cricket. Yeah,
and then 3 balls later he went out. So Stats Guy.
I'm jinxing him. Yeah,
a bit of the Beetlejuice.
Well, I haven't talked up Chelsea at all, so I don't know why we're going bad, but yeah.
I think that has to do with a lot of bad
other.
But more importantly for United, I think Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes, Højlund, and Casemiro all been involved in goals.
Højlund,
really good stuff. Højlund, that goal, he whacked the crap out.
He's like
he was going to be my goal of the week.
Yeah.
I wanted to show love to the pass.
Yeah, nice. Højlund as well. He's sort of finally coming into his form. He's brought that Champions League form into the Premier League. He's got last 4 games, I'm pretty sure, which is unbelievable.
4 or 5
From
goals.
where he started, he couldn't even hit the
And Martinez has done an MCL, so he's out for 8 weeks. So he's battled with his foot all season. Comes back for 2 games.
So
United
stiff,
look good, and now he's injured. Hate to see it.
Yeah, not good.
I think this is just what we're going to see from Manchester United, though. We're going to see a week of good football, and then who knows? Maybe next week they don't win a game.
Well, they've got. What have they got this week? They've got Aston Villa this weekend at Villa Park, and then the following week they've got to go to Luton. So that'll be telling how they go when they travel to Luton. They get all locked in.
Yep.
We've talked about Chelsea and Wolves. We don't need to go back into it.
Good.
I know 2 of the goals were from deflections, but you just got outplayed.
Yeah, if they're taking shots that close and things like that, if they were gonna score a couple more probably anyway.
Yeah. Bournemouth and Notts, the draw. Hudson-Odoi's goal was brilliant. As said, not much else to say. I think like an okay result for both teams. Notts more needed the win, but Bournemouth
at home, I think would have been a bit filthy not winning that because their form has been really solid, especially at home. Yeah. And I think Notts would definitely take a draw because they just needed any points they can get.
Yeah, and we'll touch on Man City and Brentford before we get to Arsenal and Liverpool because I'm going to rant about something as well. So this morning, obviously, Brentford sat back, had five just across the box basically the whole game and just tried to soak up a lot of pressure and then opened the scoring from, it looked just set play from the goal kick.
Up the guts.
Straight up the middle. Yeah. What's the quickest way to go, Stats Guy?
Just up the guts,
Straight up the guts. Ivan Toney with a beautiful shepherd. It was literally an AFL set play. And Mopay in on goal and a good goal. And Edison was out of sorts in that first half in goals. There was a cross that nearly dipped into the goals and he scrambled at the last second to save it. He just didn't look great in goals. And then Kevin De Bruyne is like, hey, Phil Foden, go stand there. I'm just going to put it straight on your toe. And Foden scores a hat-trick. Great for my fantasy teams. I'd Foden in.
Yeah, Foden.
Yeah, Foden,
nice.
17 points. I did enjoy someone tweeting out, because I was watching the game this morning, and someone's like, with Brentford up 1-0, this will be great. Phil Foden will do nothing. He only scores when they're 5-0 up.
And then he gets a hat-trick.
Yeah, Eddie gets a hat-trick.
That's
but
awesome.
Good win for City. Obviously, they lost both games to Brentford last season, so very important for them to get the win. Yep. Now, basically, if they win their game in hand, they're on top of the table.
How annoying is that?
They got Everton, don't they, at home.
Yeah.
So they're literally probably going to go to top.
I think their game in hand's Brentford, though.
Okay, the game in hand is Brentford.
Yeah, Brentford at home.
But their next one is Everton.
Yeah, so I think they play like on a Saturday and then they play like the following Tuesday or something.
I was going to say that, they play the next game as well in the Premier League.
Keep that in mind, fantasy players, because you may need to triple captain Haaland that game week because you'll have 2 chances.
Yeah, jeez, that's going to be it. That's
I reckon Thomas Frank's feeling the pressure a little bit. Because they sat back. You said they sat back and they've just like sort of Route 1'd it for their goal.
They used to not do that.
That's not Brentford's. That's not Brentford's.
They're a pretty
typical
attacking team usually. Yeah.
And finally, we can go a little bit deeper in this. Obviously, it was first versus third. Arsenal 3, Liverpool 1. Arsenal were dominant. Like, I'm the Arsenal fan, so I can talk about that. But like, give me something like, no, but like what you thought about. No, it's not talking them up. It's talking about like a good game. But it's one that Arsenal, apart from that own goal, never looked like losing.
Yeah, well, I thought Arsenal were great, deserved the win. It was just a bit of a shame that they couldn't really score from chances that they created on their own. They sort of had to rely on defensive mistakes, but that's sort of what the game was about in the end.
Some of those big games that happens,
we had 2 of the worst defensive howlers that we'll see all season in the one game. Like,
with 2 of the best defenders the Premier League has at the moment.
I thought that the Saliba Gabriel own goal was one of the worst things we've ever seen, and then Virgil van Dijk and Alisson produced an even bigger howler with Martinelli just being able to roll one in. And it was... You just saw from then, it was just like that took the wind out of Liverpool's sails. After halftime, they had 15 good minutes, couldn't crack Arsenal, and then that goal came from nothing. It was just like, oh, this is over.
And look, I know you won the game, and I know it was a big game against Liverpool, but it's getting a bit hard to back Mikel Arteta with the sort of stuff he's pulling, running into the fans. Hold on. Like, geez, come on.
I'm sorry. We've seen Jose Mourinho take off and do a victory lap. We've seen Jurgen Klopp run onto the field and hug Alisson.
They've got titles.
That was to stop Liverpool win the league.
We've seen De Zerbi come on the field and do a double knee slide. We've seen Jurgen Klopp go on the field after the game and celebrate like an
Jurgen Klopp isn't the best either.
So let's not say celebrating beating the top team in the league at home in a game and win that keeps you in the title chances. I'm sorry that someone who's under a lot of pressure has a release of emotion and celebrates winning a game of football. Have we become this goddamn boring that someone showing emotion is going to be panned and just be like, oh, you can't do that because it looks bad? Showing emotion is what sport is all about, you absolute morons. Jamie Carragher, stop being a salty kid. You lost. Move on.
I hate to admit this, Alex,
but I agree with you.
I agree.
What is wrong with showing emotion in football or in any sport? We saw the West Indies winning that Test match last week.
They can celebrate all they want. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Side note: Gabriel should have also been sent off as well. He did the exact same thing as Kanate did. So I need to get that on the record.
I hate to admit, maybe I'm not your level, Alex, but I do agree. There's Marcus must be those guys on Twitter.
Arsenal.
Marcus must be those guys on Twitter.
I sort of just teed it up for him. Because I saw the little celebration police in the right.
But at the same time, it's because it's Arsenal. Because the Premier League literally last week tweeted out a video of Jurgen Klopp's best celebrations.
Yeah.
And then yet when Arteta does it, is it because he's a third-year manager? Everyone's like, oh, you've won nothing. Well, I'm sorry. He's building towards winning something.
No, there's a few teams.
He's been a lot longer than 3 years.
Like
Arteta, this is like his
fourth season.
Fifth or sixth season.
Six, I reckon.
I reckon it's not his sixth.
He's been around a while.
I think he's had 3 full seasons.
Let's have a look.
Or 4 seasons, he might have.
4 years. This would be his 5th.
Yeah. So this would be his 4th full season.
Yeah, he's been around a while, but great win, nevertheless, Arsenal. Yeah. You're talking about keeps it in the race. Say if Man City win their game in hand.
Awesome.
It's going to be
will
bloody
this be one of the best title races?
Well, because the thing is, Arsenal still got to play Man City. Man City have still got to play Liverpool. So those games
sort of even them out.
Yeah. So
at the same time, if Man City
win out at home, Arsenal they've got 6 games. Then there's an international break before they play Man City. If they can win out in those 6, and there's West Ham might be the curly game. That's it. But then you've got Tottenham and Villa who can still pop up with performances as well. So
it's really close.
Let's hope we have a good title race.
Yeah, that's just what we want to see.
I think the top 3 is all set though. These 3 are Champions League.
100%. You got Villa and Tottenham who are obviously going really well, but they're just not at the Arsenal.
I think Tottenham go into 4th and Villa.
I'm going Villa.
I'll go Tottenham as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantasy updates. So obviously we said last week, play Ollie Watkins as your captain.
Oh, I got that.
Helped out with 3 assists and a goal against Sheffield United. God bless. Richarlison with the double. Phil Foden with hat tricks were the stars of the show this week. So if you had them in, Stats guy's a big Richarlison guy in fantasy.
Yeah, he was so cheap. Literally before he got on this run. So I'm like, I'll take a chance on him if he was cheap so I can get rid of him otherwise. And he's been awesome and he's gone up in price every week.
Yeah, and the way he's going, you'd want to keep him until he shows a dip in form.
Especially Son being out. He's having a lot more shots on goal,
Similar to Rashford this time last year.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're going to take a break. I'm going to go stand in a cold shower for 5 minutes and cool down. We'll be back after this. Leo will come in for the trivia question and we'll have a look at all Aussie adventures.
Get the fire extinguisher out. Lock in for a huge summer of slog sixes, rattle bales, and classic snags with the daily Cricket Today podcast. Keep up to date with all things BBL, BBL Supercoach, tests, ODIs, and T20s this summer, as well as the highlights and socials all season long. Search Cricket Today on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
All right, we've cooled off. We've had a chat just about how punditry is all about negativity and not being positive and enjoying people winning and being happy. So, speaking of people being happy, Leo with the trivia question.
Hey,
he's happy, he's excited.
More like people being that sad.
Well, that's you
points
guys.
tally.
That's you two.
This show is getting me back up and about forgetting about the Chelsea game, but that's all right.
Yeah, well, it's more about how bad you are at trivia. So, scoreboard coming up here. I'm in front at the moment. Hit the perfect week last week. I'm about to go on holiday, so I really need this point to, extend the lead out. The rules, basically, Leo's going to read out the question. We say our names and...
I'm not quick enough with this buzzer.
Yeah, Stats Guy's been slow off the mark last week. So
annoying me.
And if you buzz in early, get it wrong, Leo reads out the rest of the question for the other two.
What if we buzz in before the question? Just guess a player.
Well, then you're out, Stats Guy.
If I could get it. No, I'm joking.
Leo, please take it away.
All right, boys. I asked this question, I think, in the first episode.
Oh, God.
I want to see if you guys have been keeping up with this question.
I know what it's going to be.
Who is leading the EPL for clean sheets this season?
There's
one player, just one player.
Oh, one player.
Just one player.
Stats guy. Pickford.
Bang.
I was gonna say Pickford. I was like, is it?
I don't remember that being in the show, so that's what I was going to say.
I was gonna say Pickford.
What's the leaderboard on that?
Come on.
He's on 8, and I think there's a few on 7. Like I know Onana's on 7.
How is Onana and Pickford first and second?
Well, Everton has so many clean sheets because they've had like 4-0 draws. That's what. And I didn't remember it from the first show, but I was like, stuff it. I'm just going to go for it. Yes.
I'm
back.
And I was like, it's not.
As soon as you guys didn't answer quickly, I'm like, I got a chance.
It's none of the top teams because they've all been conceding like one goal.
Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, but I was thinking recent matches. I was like, they conceded 2 against Tottenham.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good job, Stats Guy.
You guys look a bit rattled.
No,
I'm just frustrated at myself because
I wouldn't have guessed Pickford, but it's like I was like, it's not Ray or it's.
I wasn't actually very confident, but I knew it was up there.
It's not Allison. No, 7. All right. Anyway, all Aussie adventures. So we talk about what's going on in the world. We're going to get to the Australian men's after this. We're going to, lead into it. So over the weekend, West Ham and Arsenal played out a very entertaining game with West Ham getting the job done over Arsenal. Huge result for West Ham. It actually jumped them up 3 spots on the WSL table.
Crazy.
Arsenal, a very, very bad loss, puts them 6 points behind the league leaders Chelsea. With all the money they've spent, you'd think Jonas is in a lot of trouble. I don't rate him much as a coach personally. For the squad they've got, Arsenal should be doing much, much better. But shout out to Mini, best on ground once again.
Gorry has just come in straight away and killed it. Oh my God.
It shouldn't be a shock.
No, but I knew she was definitely worthy of being in the Super League. But you've got someone that just come into a new team straight away. I thought it might take like a month to build up.
It's literally playing central midfield though and just running around and just walloping into people.
She's so good.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
And there's a great photo. I'll send it to Gerald so hopefully you can put it up now of Katrina Gorry and Caitlin Ford pulling on each other's shirts.
Oh, really?
Like a stoppage,
The two
waiting for a free
Matildas,
kick. It's pretty funny. It also shows how small Katrina Gorry actually is.
She's tiny. She's
It's
up to
wild.
most of people's hips. Yeah.
I think that was West Ham's first ever WSL win against Arsenal ever. So,
Wow.
There you go.
That's
There we
awesome.
go. And finally, I got this email about 10 minutes ago from Melbourne City. Caitlin Torpey, who has been 2-time PFA Team of the Season, is leaving Melbourne City to go across to the San Diego Wave. It's an Australian record price. They haven't mentioned what the price is, but it's an Australian record.
Undisclosed.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So that's fantastic.
Future Matilda probably.
One of the best fullbacks in the league. She's played 48 games for City. And she's played for the under-23s Matildas team. So she'll
actually,
be one to watch out for in the future.
What side of a fullback is she on, actually? Because that could be a bit tough for her getting in the national team when you got
Carpenter.
Ali Carpenter on the left-hand
and
side.
Alana Kennedy.
And Alana, yeah. Oh, there's a few older players in defence for the Matildas, so she might get in eventually.
Yeah, I feel like on that left-hand side, though, Ali Carpenter's pretty
How old
young.
is she?
You'd be
21
thinking
or
this,
something?
I suppose they're in off-season at the moment with San Diego. You're trying to think of trying to get a couple of games in under your belt before the Olympics, because obviously we've got the 2 games in 3 weeks' time. So it'll be interesting to see if she's included in the squad.
Who else?
Tony.
Did we talk about was playing at San Diego Wave, or was there someone that moved away from there?
I think
swear.
Van Egmond might have gone.
Yeah, it might have been actually. Yeah, from
been,
there to that's right.
I'll look that up as you start yelling about our brutal loss in the Asian Cup.
I feel like Marcus wants to do a bit more yelling
and
about
she
this.
did go to San Diego, Emily Van Egmond. There you
Yep,
go.
nice. Obviously Asian Cup, Socceroos. We're up 1-0. It was pretty good. And then enter Sung Hyun Min. We got some Gray Arnold.
Enter the penalty.
Oh, the penalty first. Sorry,
Enter Lewis Miller.
Enter Lewis Miller. There was just a lot that went wrong. And Marcus will want to talk about Graham Arnold's choices to who he put on and things like that.
Yeah, it was absolutely pathetic. I know it's been a hard week of football. A hard weekend of football for me.
Socceroos into Chelsea. Oh, no.
It was Socceroos into Chelsea. I was watching that. I didn't even watch extra time because I knew as soon as they scored that penalty, I knew that we were going to lose. And I'm like, screw this, I'm going to bed. Because I knew we were going to lose. We go way too defensive. We stick with Mitch Duke, who I know played well. Should have scored 2 absolute sitters to push 2 goals up.
Oh, my God.
Killed the game. And then he misses both. Bring on Lewis Miller. Clumsy challenge. It was not needed. Wasn't going anywhere. And then we get knocked out of the Asian Cup. And now that we look at now South Korea are going to win it now because Japan got knocked out, didn't they?
Yes.
In the other side of the draw.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So
they did.
and now South Korea played Jordan. I want to say I can't remember off the top of my head. It's either Jordan or Iran. But it looks like they're going
South
to
Korea
win.
played Jordan, Iran taking on Qatar. Yeah. It'll be South Korea, Iran, most likely.
Keep playing over there, Sons. I don't want you back in the EPL. As if I didn't need more reason to hate a Tottenham player.
Yeah, he scored that free kick. Absolutely awesome free kick, unfortunately, against the Socceroos. But yeah, Graham Arnold.
I'm going Graham Arnold out.
Graham, I will agree with that. I think the World Cup helped us a bit where other teams obviously going to be very attacking,
Yes.
so we got out the
Yes.
back. We talked about this on another show. Whereas Graham, when we need to attack a bit, we've got absolutely
When
nothing.
we need to be on the front foot and possession plays football.
poor, yeah.
Look, he was good during the World Cup, Graham Arnold. Like it sort of suited it because we had a really, really tough group. But then we had made a meals year of it. And to even get into the World Cup, it shouldn't have been that way anyways. We struggled against the lesser nations, the Asian nations.
True.
And then against Peru as well, we sort of just played it out and won a penalty shootout.
Yeah.
Where we had
Thank you, Wardens. The testing of the evacuation channel has now been completed.
just cut me off.
You know what? We're just going to keep that in there, and that's enough Asian Cup. We're done. We're out. It's all that matters. Anyway, that is the final bit of the Football Today podcast, funnily enough. We're going to end on that weird note. It's, actually not unusual for us. We'll be back later this week. Well, I won't. I'm going on a much overdue holiday. I'll be back in about 3 weeks' time. Can't wait. So the stats guy and Marcus will be in charge. They may sub in Leo. I'm not sure. Leo's going to be on the sidelines. He's shaking his head. He's like,
Gerald's in.
Absolutely not. So Leo will still be over there reading out the trivia questions for the boys. They'll steer the ship. Make sure you get around us on all of the social medias at Football Today Pod, Football Today AU on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I think we're on Threads. Who cares about Threads? Let's be honest. Make sure you check out the YouTube as well. Give us a thumbs up as well as subscribe. You get a notification when the next show comes out. Please also do the same on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. All of that does help us, reach a new audience and sort of grow what we're trying to do here. And the boys will have a bit of fun over the next few weeks. Thanks, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Cheers, Marcus.
Cheers, Alex.
Shout out to Gerald, Homie, and Leo in the background doing a great job as always. This is the Football Today Swearsy Show out.